This is a video adaptation of Appendix 3, titled, "We Made the Quran Easy." 5417. From Quran, the Final Testament, Authorized English Version. Translated from the original, by Rashad Khalifa, Ph.D. We Made the Quran Easy. 5417. Verse 11:1 informs us that the Quran's miracle involves 1. The superhuman mathematical design of its physical structure, and 2. The simultaneous composition of a literary work of extraordinary excellence. One may be able to meet the numerical distribution requirements of a simple mathematical pattern. However, this is invariably accomplished at the expense of the literary quality. The simultaneous control of the literary style and the intricate mathematical distribution of individual letters throughout the Quran, Appendix 1, is evident in the fact that the Quran is made easy to memorize, understand, and enjoy. Unlike a human-made book, the Quran is enjoyable to read over and over, infinitely. The title of this appendix is repeated in Surah 54, verses 17, 22, 32, and 40. As it turns out, the Quran's Arabic text is composed in such a way, as to remind the reader or the memorizer, of the next correct expression, or the next verse. God created us, and He knows the most efficient way, for fixing literary materials into our memory. Memorization of the Quran has played a vital role in preserving the original text, generation after generation, at a time when written books were a rarity. Without even realizing it, the person who memorizes the Quran is divinely helped by an intricate literary system, as he utters the sounds of the Quranic words. Almost every verse in the Quran contains what I call memory bells. Their function is to remind the reader of what comes next. This system is so vast, I will give only two illustrative examples. 1. In Surah 2, verses 127, 128, and 129, end with two different names of God each. These pairs of names are As-Sami, Al-Alim, the Hearer, the Omniscient; At-Tawwab, Ar-Rahim, the Redeemer, most merciful; and Al-Aziz, Al-Hakim, the Almighty, most wise, respectively. If this were a regular book, one would easily mismatch these six names. Not so in the Quran. Each one of these pairs is preceded in the same verse by a memory bell that reminds us of the correct pair of names. Thus, verse 127 talks about Abraham and Ismail raising the foundations of the Kaaba. The verse ends with the names, As-Sami, Al-Alim. The prominent sounds here are the S, M, and Ain. These three letters are prominent in the word Ismail. We find that this word is conspicuously delayed in the sentence, while improving its literary quality. Thus, we find that the verse goes like this: when Abraham raised the foundations of the Kaaba, together with Ismail. Normally, a human writer would say, when Abraham and Ismail raised the foundations of the Kaaba. But delaying the sounds in Ismail brings them closer to the end of the verse, and thus reminds us that the correct names of God in this verse are As-Sami, Al-Alim. Verse 128 has the prominent word Tub just before the names At-Tawwab, Ar-Rahim. The word Tub thus serves as the memory bell. The names of God at the end of 229 are Aziz, Hakim. The prominent sounds here are Z and K. Obviously, the memory bell in this verse is the word Yuzakihim. 2. Another good example is found in 3:176, 177, and 178, where the retribution for disbelievers is described as Azim, terrible, Alim, painful, and Muhin, humiliating, respectively. In a human-made book, the memorizer could easily mix up these three descriptions. But we find that each of these adjectives is preceded by powerful memory bells that prevent such a mix-up. The word Azim, of verse 176, is preceded by the word Huz-Zun, which is characterized by a stressed letter Z. This serves to remind us of the particular adjective at the end of this verse. The word Alim of verse 177, is preceded by the sound of the word Iman, to serve as a memory bell, and the word Muhin, of 3:178, is preceded by an abundance of M and H, throughout this verse. Other examples of memory bells include the ending of 3173, and the beginning of 3174, the ending of 452, and the beginning of 453, the ending of 461, and the beginning of 462, the ending of 1853, and the beginning of 1854, and many more. The transcript of this appendix is available at masjidtucson.org, in the Quran, Appendices section.